Daniel Bryan, or should I say Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, the true internet champion, if you will, because here we have a guy named Daniel Bryan who broke out into the WWE in early 2010, NXT Season 1. He's part of the first group of NXT guys. He had pretty good impact in that show, in my opinion. He lost every match he had, but he was still a favorite. He was a fan favorite. He was a fan favorite because he's one of those indie guys. One of those guys that have busted their ass, in the independent scene, trying to make themselves known so that way the WWE will spot them and hopefully sign them to a developmental deal. That's what he was hoping for, and that's what happened. The internet fans became very happy when he was signed to the WWE. They were kind of iffy, you know. I myself was kind of iffy. Speaking for myself, that is, no one else. But Daniel Bryan, he comes in a guy that can really wrestle, a guy that has been in the business for 10 years before making it to the WWE, a guy that was also trained by the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. So you know that anybody that has been coached or trained or anything of that nature by HBK, you know they have to be good. And Daniel Bryan is good. He's a great wrestler. Okay, now is he a great sports entertainer? Well, that's something that he's just going to have to learn. He's going to have to develop that over time. Daniel Bryan, he's not quite, as outgoing as other superstars, but that's just his character. He's kind of like the quiet, mild-mannered individual who just goes out there and, mat wrestles your ass to the ground and makes you tap like that. I mean, that's who he is. Now, is the WWE using him right? Are they really using him to his full potential? Some would argue that, well, hell, he's the world champion. The WWE obviously has some kind of faith in the guy, right? True to an extent, yeah, that is true, but you got to think this way. He is the champion, but how are they using him as the champion? He's not really being used as a dominant champion, I don't think. He's definitely been put in some predicaments that would maybe have you question him as a face or a heel because it kind of seems as if maybe he's going that direction. They're having him, you know, lose or win the match, I should say, not lose. They're having him win the match pretty much any way he can. He kind of gets into Mark Henry's face, causing him to get up and push him, so that way Big Show would get disqualified, which it worked out in his favor. But is that exactly how they should be using him? I don't know. Who's to say? Daniel Bryan is only good as the WWE will let him be. Okay, they do have him as champion, but it seems to me as if maybe he is a transitional champion, meaning that he's going to get in a feud with somebody, and they're going to become the new champion. They're trying to find someone else to take the spot. They're going to let Daniel Bryan hold that spot down for a little while, but yeah, I don't think it's going to last too long, and it sucks because Daniel Bryan deserves so much more. I think it's great how he was brought up, how he busted his ass, how it wasn't just handed to him. He actually did work 10 years as a pro wrestler before making it to the mainstream. That's no BS, that's the truth. So that right there is something that anyone can enjoy hearing because it's a great story to tell. And Daniel Bryan is a great wrestler. There's no doubt about it. You watch anything from ROH. I don't follow ROH, but I can sure as hell use the internet and I can look up a Daniel Bryan match or a Bryan Danielson match on ROH and I can just be amazed because he truly is that good. And it's great that they have a wrestler in the WWE like that, but they got to really focus on that. Daniel Bryan needs to be put in matches that can emphasize what he's really good at, and that's wrestling. Yeah, he's in matches every week, but it would be great to see him in longer matches. Put him in pay-per-view every month because you're going to get a good match out of him. Bottom line, You know what's wrong with Daniel Bryan? The WWE. That's it. That is the problem with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, he can wrestle, no question. Now, you're going to question his mic skills. Well, can he talk? I think he's good. He's not great, but I do think he's good on the mic. Daniel Bryan can hold his own. Think back to NXT season 1. He's in probably one of the best promos of 2010, no doubt, when he had that shoot promo against Michael Cole and talking about the WWE machine and all that stuff. That was awesome. And that was all Daniel Bryan. That was all from him. And that's great. But when the WWE, allows him to talk for himself, how CM Punk does, when they're allowed to speak more freely, when they allow that, you get better results in the end with your promos. But when you're scripted, when you're being told to act a certain way, a way that you're not used to being, it can be difficult, to adjust to that kind of thing. But that's where the time comes in. You got to have time at it. You got to have practice as well. And you will get better as far as your mic skills go, your promo work. You will get better. It's all about animating yourself, making yourself entertaining. I'm not here to teach it. I just know it works. Anyways, Daniel Bryan, great wrestler. Great wrestler. Is he a great sports entertainer? That's to be determined. But yes, Daniel Bryan does have flaws. Not really him per se. Yes, he could work up on that, personality a bit. But the WWE is his main fault. They're the ones that are putting him in the storylines that he's in. They're the one that's making him this champion that he has became. So don't be mad at Daniel Bryan, be mad at the WWE. Dalyxman, thanks for the video idea. I hope you enjoyed the response. Anyways, this is goldizzy. Peace.